औज़ुबिल्लाहिस्समीउल अलीम मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम वत्तीन वज़ैतून वतूर सीनीन वहाज़ल बलदिल अमीन लक़द ख़लक़नल इंसाना फ़ी अहसनि तक़वीम सुम्मा रददनाहु अस्फ़ला साफ़िलीन इल्लल्लज़ीना आमनू व आमिलुस्सालिहात फ़लहुम अज्रुन ग़ैर ममनून फ़मा युकज़्ज़िबुका बअदु बिद्दीन अलैहिस्सल्लाहु बिअहकमिल हाकिमीन सदक़ल्लाहुल मौलाना अज़ीम. In the name of Allah, the merciful Lord of mercy, I swear by the fig and the olive and Mount Sinai and this city of peace, that mankind was created in the best of molds. Then reverted we him to the lowest of the low, except those who believe and do good works. For them is a reward unending. As for the one who breaks his pledge after having made it, is not Allah the best of judges? Over the next hour and a little more, we will explore some issues about parenting in Pakistan in the year 2014. My theme today is teaching children values through wisdom tales. The first part of my presentation will take a look at how do we respond to this incredible media tsunami that has come upon us and upon our children, for there seems to be no escape. They are constantly on Twitter, they are constantly on the web, there is internet, there is television, there is. And all of these have created a source of confusion that we need resources, support, help to do this. So in this little exploration, I will share with you. Also, I found over my observation that parents are very naive about the influence of television. They think it is one of those harmless things. Child has come back from school, has come back, and immediately the Cartoon Network gets switched on. Okay, get out of my hair, sit there, do your thing, while I prepare something else. Then come and have lunch, and now while he's eating, he's also watching. We think it's all innocuous, we think it's all safe. No, it is not. There are serious issues, so we need to be alert to that. So the first part will look at this media problem. The second part will say, all right, the mobiles are switched off, the Twitter is off, and you say to the child, come, let's. Then what do? You can't sermonize all the time, you can't lecture all the time. What do you do? Well, I will talk about what you do. I will narrate some Sufi stories and a way of discussing them that keeps the wisdom transferred and the child engaged. This will be our agenda for today, right? The good news is that the text of just about everything I'm saying is already being given to you in a photocopy, and the text of the stories also are all there. The illustrations have been done by my daughter. She's in NCA, and you will see that there is some artistic touch to them, said by proud father of, of artistic daughter. All right, let us begin then, and we take a look at the problems and the solutions. The problems of being a child in Pakistan are many, and the impact of the media on the child, as I said, and what should we do. As I said, there was a presentation totally dedicated to the media as an issue, but since I'm turning to, okay, now that we've understood what the media does and we put it aside, what do we benefit from the wisdom tales? So that will be the part that we'll do. Let's begin from this genius, Khalil Gibran. You know, this book is free, available on PDF, The Prophet. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Brilliant. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Now, you see, this is the problem. We tell our children what to think. No. We should teach them how to think. For what to think about is something new. How to think, they don't know. That's where our guidance should go. So it's this huge shift in the line. Okay. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. Life is not going backwards. Our children are not growing up to become like our childhood. Thank God. All right. So, there is much amiss in our treatment of youth in Pakistan today. Have you noticed there? Who would know better than parents and school teachers, heads? Where are the spaces dedicated to children and youth in the whole country? It's truly amazing. In Lahore, there is the children's park, which is wonderful. But other than that, can you imagine a whole nation where we can't say that here is a space, go be a child, go play. It's amazing. We somehow do not. And this genius, we discount this genius. हम Lord Buddha को इज्जत नहीं देते हैं. Janab, this guy said some very, very wise things. Look at this fantastic line. Children who are fed lies breed violence. So if we say that our children are becoming violent, do you think they are becoming just like that? The kind of hocus they are taught in classrooms, the kind of textbooks we teach containing other stuff, our school systems, you see, I have been responding to this toxic atmospheres in schools and why children are so morose. It's actually because of these human and text lies that are all around. And the children are very sharp, they see it right through. And then they respond in different ways. All right. So, here's this huge tsunami happening outside of them, and at the same time there are things happening inside of them. As they grow, as their own bodily changes, as they grow, I absolutely marvel that there was only one thing worse. I used to say, there's only one thing worse than American Idol, and that's Indian Idol. And oh my God, I don't know. I am amazed at this circus of Pakistan Idol and all that. And all of these are messages being given to young people all the time that they glorify the body, they glorify if it's a dangerous line. But I have observed more and more, it's harder on the girls. It's harder on the girl child than on the boy child. And then on the boy. And from grade 8, class 8, there is a transition. As they go into grade 9, they start getting into hunger strikes. They start getting into health conscious. They start getting into, no, I won't eat this, I won't eat this, I won't eat this. Come off it. Make your hair, eat and drink. No, I don't look nice. This sort of nonsense is due to these terrible, terrible horror and peer pressure. Okay. So, here's a story. I absolutely marvel at this. If you take a frog in a container of water and put it on the stove and heat it, or in your kitchen, it will jump out the moment the water is hot. The moment it is hot, it will jump out. However, if you take a frog, you can't do this at home. You need a laboratory and proper equipment to do it. And if you raise the temperature of the water 1 degree centigrade over 30 minutes, so 1 degree, then 30 minutes later, 1 degree more. Here's an observation. The frog will suddenly die, just turn upside down, dead, but it will not jump out. It's one of those amazing. Now, I don't know why you would want to kill a frog like that. But just an example, that if you raise the temperature of the water slowly, the frog keeps thinking, chalega, I'll manage. Clock, dead. So, my question and my question is, and our question is, what is our society like? What are we? Are we on the melting pot? Or are we like the cussed frog? Change is all around us and we are saying, chalega, I'll manage. Gone. So these are the kinds of issues that pester me, and these are the kinds of issues that we would spread around. Ready to die but not willing to change. And more modern thinker at Harvard, Robert Kagan, I'm extremely inspired by his thinking, immunity to change. He uses the word immunity to change. That somehow, in a world that is changing all around us, something in us says, as a reflex, no, I'll hold on to this. I can't let everything go. But whatever the thing that we hold on to can be extremely bizarre, can be extremely silly, can be a relic of the past, can be something strange, but we've just suddenly held on to it because we are saying, this is valuable. I can't let this go. And that's how you have these strange phenomenon of people doing strange things. It can be an identity thing, it can be language, it can be religion, it can coming from anywhere. And that's how we have these fixations of people who are just not willing to change some things because they believe that's central, and it's not. So there are these, okay, fine. So, as we see these problems, this was another wise guy. I mean, Lord Buddha and Einstein are a very good, very good pair to worry about. No problem can be solved by the mindset which created it. Absolutely. I ask this to very many people, what do they mean by this? And they come up with all sorts of interesting things. They say, one university teacher was doing this session only 2 days ago, this quotation, and somebody said, the mindset says there is a problem, but it isn't. And I said, no, that is not what Einstein is saying. Einstein is saying something else. And exactly, the mindset which creates the problem cannot be the mindset which solves it. So by definition, we will need new tools, new ideas, new strategies. Hence, this conversation. Top disciplinary problems according to public school teachers in the year 1940. Watch this. In 1940, a child was what? Penalized, punished, put in detention for doing these things. Sounds funny, I mean, sounds absolute. This is from Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Families, his research. Okay. And then in 1990, we have this. What happened in these 50 years? What happened in these 50 years? From chewing gum and littering and throwing paper and throwing toffee wrappers and cutting in line, from that sort of stuff to this, what one thing has come insidiously, permanently, totally into every home. And then people say, no. Television doesn't teach violence. It is just one of those things. This is people, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Yeah, sure. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. And I'm not even talking about the content now. I mean, in this conversation, though I just mentioned it, we are talking about the medium itself that has problems. So we need to. Many parents still think it's a great babysitter. The plug-in drug, as they call it. The plug-in drug. Get out of my hair. Go watch some TV, we think. And we give the remote to the child. In Pakistan, it's amazing. It's on all the time. And that's another big thing. We will talk about that. And people think, Cartoon Network, what's the problem? Huge problems. So we have the TV and computers. And we have falling from the sky, this is satellite falling from the sky. Neil Postman is a thinker of our times, doing excellent work in media studies. One of our original philosophers, if you like, who looks into Neil Postman. Look him up. Wikipedia has some good materials on him. These ideas are thanks to him. Electronic media. Our lives our communication has just totally shifted. There, I've got his name there. That since the alphabet, the way the alphabet has changed our communication, Neil Postman argues television has changed our way of looking at the world much more radically, dramatically. It is now known that children as young as 18 months are able to recognize the Coca-Cola symbol. It's not that they can read C-O-C-A. No. It's the design. Children are entirely deluged by these iconic images. It isn't language, it's pre-language. Therefore, extremely dangerous. Human beings do speak on television. However, the media offers images extremely fast. And therefore, they are an incredible medium of information, no doubt. Okay. So there is no reading. There isn't any such thing as remedial TV viewing. There is only remedial reading, see? But there isn't, because the decoding is instantaneous and non-linguistic. It develops no skills. It develops. See, people, when I show this slide, people say, no, what do you mean, Basa? We learned so many things from that. And I say, wait, stop. You're confusing things. If I'm reading a Sherlock Holmes story and Arthur Conan Doyle, each story I read allows me to enjoy the next story better. My skills go cumulative. Each book I read allows me to read the next book in a different way, in a better way, and it cumulative. Whereas if I watch Popeye the Sailor cartoons, if I watch the first cartoon, I'm the same person as the one who watches 201st cartoon. The content of watching Popeye doesn't require from me to develop any skills. This thing, cumulative and consequential, is something we are too naive about. And we need to think about this. It's a huge issue. And that is why there is no such thing in reality as children's program. Have you noticed children have almost entirely disappeared from television? Because everything is favored. And that has consequences. I hope in all this it doesn't emerge that I'm basically saying, throw the TV idiot box out, close it. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about a development of a very different kind of thinking about television with regards to children, very young children. Okay. You see, books can have, there is a way by which if a book is lying around the house and a little child comes upon it, 7, 8 years old, there's no danger. Because the book can have such difficult vocabulary that the book is closed to the child even if he sees it. Whereas from television, nothing comes out of the TV set to say to the children, get out of here. And that has consequences. See, television erases the dividing line between children and adults. It erases. This is the issue which most parents say, oh my God, my children are saying such strange things. My God, I never had the courage to say these things until I was 30 years old. Exactly. Because television gives us exposure, gives the children exposure to things which, let's see this, in two ways. One, it requires no instruction to grasp its form, and it does not segregate its audience. So National Geographic can show a program called Taboo. It's one of the most horrendous things, but it is there, and if a child is turning television, it is right there. What? Other than some different kind of supervision, what is going to stop the child from watching if the child, no adult is around at home or nobody cares? See, the main difference is this. Adults know about certain facts of life, its mysteries, its contradictions, its violence, its tragedies, that are not considered suitable for children to know. This is that whole point of innocence and experience. If you want to consider Blake. Okay. So what happens is, as children move towards adulthood, we reveal these secrets to them in ways we believe they are prepared to manage. Except for great trauma like war or something at which it is beyond us. Slowly children are told that yes, some people are like that. Yes, that's a terrible thing to happen. But we reveal. Otherwise we shelter them from some of those things because there is an innocence of childhood that is precious. Okay. What happens is, That is why there is such a thing as children's literature. But television makes this arrangement impossible. All adult secrets, social, sexual, physical and the like, they are all there. Everything is there. Television forces the entire culture to come out. There is a program on everything. Everything is a topic for yet another program. So we find incest, corruption, sadism, horrors of human nature, just another topic for the talk show. Just another topic. And so children are aware of at a time when they don't have the database to deal with it. And that is the saddest thing. And as a consequence of all this, innocence. And so our children at the age of 5 start talking and we say, good Lord, kya ho gaya in bachon ko? We talk like this. What has happened to the children? This is what has happened. And we think it's all innocent. And so that is why, indeed, now here's the other thing. All the children on television are depicted as merely small adults. In fact, that's why they are cute. They speak in that adult tone and we see the incongruence which creates the humor. But they are only small adults. Okay. But we think that just because children are immersed in an adult world, that's a good thing that's happening. That's not a good thing also. There's something very queer happening as a result of this. You see, a new kind of person is emerging. We think, that's nice, chalo, innocence jari to maturity to ari kam as kam. At least they're becoming mature. No, something strange is happening. We are producing a class of humanity called the adult child. The adult child. Which means this is a person who has 3 characteristics. An obsessive need for immediate gratification. I want it now. Why can't it happen now? Pronto. Slow. The download speed is so slow. Only 70 MB. I mean, no matter what you say. Instant. I want it right now. And a lack of concern for consequences. Lay's potato chips, French cheese and yogurt is being had for morning, lunch, dinner because one is too lazy to take the trouble to actually in a hostel. And I've seen highly educated, intelligent people do this sort of nonsense, put themselves into all sorts of trouble, a lack of concern for consequences, and an almost promiscuous preoccupation with consumption. And so you see immediately the great brands, and this is how the great world order goes into place, and that's how the great, then the brand mongering goes on. So these are the concerns that makes childhood neither necessary nor desirable. Indeed, we just don't need. And that's the sad thing about what television in its wholeness does to us. So now you see what we are up against. I'm not even talking about the content. You notice, I'm talking about the medium itself. Right? So what we must do about it? Here's one thought. I've played with this many times. Who will you invite in your drawing room? Offer your best sofa, your best attention. You won't, na? You won't take some beggar in the street and somebody very badly clad, some drug person or somebody. You won't get that person to sit on it. So imagine if you would take that much trouble about your furniture, how much more trouble should you take about the mind and the stuff that goes in it? And how the heck will you get it out once it is there? So, if the time and the trouble you take for your drawing room is that you won't allow dirt to come in, unwashed shoes and children to come in, though they can all be washed, how much more care should you see about the stuff that goes in? So my major question is to most parents, why is it on all the time? Just because it is coming? That's nonsense. So there are these naiveties that in parents that we need. The best way to keep is keep it in the middle and let everyone, that itself has huge benefits. Firstly, time is spent together rather than apart. You are able to monitor. And you see, one of the things I'm saddened by is somehow parents are so busy in their own concerns. Yes, I know you can't watch everything with the children. But surely in a world of internet, you can go to the websites which contain summaries of those programs. And now Wikipedia has a page on every program you can think of. And you can read that particular episode plot, 7 lines. And the next time I come home and I say, right, did you guys watch such and such? Oh yes, Dad, we enjoyed. Remember how such and... Now I've seen a program, so I know its grammar. And they say, oh, Acha, you... Now I haven't actually watched the program, but I know the plot. So we are able to engage extremely well and the children are thrilled. Now that kind of care is what I see as a bonding time. Something that can happen. Something that is doable. Urge you to pass this on to parents in your parent-teacher meetings. Let them know these things. So many people need this. See, this is what I mean. We do not say, here is this tsunami coming, we will turn our backs to it. No. Here is a tsunami coming, let's build a raft. Let's navigate our way through it. That is the way to do it. The thing is not to deny it. The thing is, it is there. How do we find a powerful path through it? That's the thing. And there's this great joke about when the lights went. In Karachi it's true, I'm sure it's true elsewhere. When the lights went, I came to the drawing room and I met my mother and father and siblings. They were really nice people. Because I was so busy on the Facebook talking to everybody, and so everybody was absent. So when the lights went, load shedding, and I came to the drawing room and I met my mother. So this sort of thing is something we need to bring back, and it's all abdication actually. We've just let it happen, default state. We just let it happen. We should be more careful. We should be more intelligent. Okay. So don't let it become the default activity. Make it a rule. Log what you're watching. And there are, to be fair, let me come to my 4-point plan. And just because it is on 24 hours a day, there's no need for it to be on all the time. When parents say, what? I say, listen, when a child comes back from school, wash up, eat, sleep. The TV remains off. Then sit with the child, read something, do some homework, and then watch only the program that you plan to watch. Oh, which means go to the website, download the whole month's programs, take a printout, and mark the ones that you're going to see. All this takes a little bit of time, but after that, the child knows. This program is coming, this is the time that we will go on, this is the channel we'll watch it on. Whereas sadly, we deluge our house with channel surfing and all the other problems that go with it. So, yeah, I know. More work. I know, we are all busy people here. But I tell you this, the rewards and the dividends are immense. Yes. You can't be on the shoulder of the child all the time. You have to let them go. But trust, that's how it works. Okay. Well, we will, all that thing about what kinds of stuff do you put on Facebook and all. Yeah, okay. Here is something very, very serious. See, note that an image flickers for 2.5 seconds in an ad and 3.5 seconds in a program. And that makes any kind of critical thinking impossible. Somehow television images penetrate right through to our consciousness in different ways with young children. As we grow, we have a database, so we know how to handle. So we know where's propaganda happening, so we know there are messages, kind of attractions given to our impulses. But all that is the gift of maturity, not through television, but through other sources. Intelligence, books, reading. But for young children, this is becoming the database. It's extremely careful. One needs to be careful. So what should we do then? 4-point plan, already said this, limit the time the TV is open, watch only the best. Okay, watch the programs with the children, and I've given an idea about that, and the TV or the computer in the main lounge of the house. Okay, this is the 4-point plan. Okay, let us turn to the stories. Okay, fine. We now turn to the stories part, and that brings me to an end of this presentation. There is an enormous resource in our culture about wisdom that is totally untapped and which is sad. Only yesterday some people were saying, who the heck decided that Rumi and Iqbal and Jami would not be names that our children would know of? Why? What happened? How did we exclude all of these people? I mean, these people were and are giants of intelligence and intellect, and yet our education system is totally bereft. Exactly. So we need to get these back. So as we said in this earlier part, okay, so we've told the children limited time, we've told the TV is off, mobile has been put off, okay, let's spend family time, then do what? So as an answer to that, we regale them with these stories. And in the stories, and rather through the stories, we give them a discussion. Now this will be an interactive thing. This story comes from Japan, the Buddhist tradition. The master said, and imagine a floor sitting with all the disciples sitting up there, the master sitting in one place, and empty space in the middle. The master said, the time has come for me to move on, so I would like to choose one of you to take my place. And for that, I will conduct a simple test. So saying, the master took a jug, an empty jug, which was on the side, and put it in the middle, and said, what would this jug be called if not a jug in the first? Somebody said a container, somebody said a vessel, somebody said a mug, various answers were given. The master listened without a sound. After a while, a disciple who had not said anything at all stood up, walked up to the jug and kicked it away. Immediately the master stood up and said, bravo, come, I salute the new master. Okay, and made him sit. Okay, pause. What do you think? Why do you think the master said this?
Sorry, I didn't get that part. The disciple, what did he do?
He kicked the jug away.
He kicked the jug.
Right. Okay, and immediately the master said, Shabash, wah, better. Okay. What happened? What do you think happened?
Maybe because he realized the jug itself was not important.
Okay. Okay.
That's not something they should be arguing over.
What would this jug be called if not a jug in the first place? And the disciples saying, no, we won't argue about this.
It's a jug. It is a jug. So what's the point?
Okay. What's the point? Good, good. A little bit more. You're on track. A little bit more. Yeah, okay, good.
As in, I mean, why are we arguing over something that is already an established fact? Why not move on to something that is...
Your mind is being taken up by something that is not...
My God, I'm dealing with very smart people. You hit it straight away. Exactly. As long as the master asks a question and the disciple answers it, what is the disciple behaving as?
A slave.
A disciple.
He's not thinking for himself.
Exactly. But look at the opening. The master says, I'm going to choose one from amongst you to take my place. So, exactly. The master says, as long as you answer the question, you are taking my question as a disciple. But I'm not looking for another disciple, I'm looking for someone else. And that then is what the...
going to follow.
Excellent. Pretty good. MashaAllah, you thought बहुत जल्दी कर दिया. चलो, we will go on to the next one. All right. Now this story comes from a totally different culture. Enjoy this. And again, the text is given there. Nothing to worry about, but in the narration there is pleasure in it. Okay. Now we come to another symbolic story. Everything in this story actually means something else, right? But let's see what the story is. The servant of the master came to the master and said, "Sir, I would like to invite some friends in my house in the evening for drinks. Do I have your permission to do so?" And the master said, "Sure, no problem." So now to imagine this is at a time when the house of the master was in the center of the land. There would be agricultural land all around it, and there would be outhouses in the periphery where the servant would be staying, right? Okay. When evening came, the master said to himself, "Let me go and see the friends of my servant. Let me go and see." So the master went. And when he came, immediately, of course, the servant recognized him and introduced him to all his friends. And it so happened that that was the time he was serving drinks. So he had this jug full of liquid and he poured out all the glasses. But he gave to the master the last part of the jug, what was left. And he served his friends first. The master saw this, did not like it, got up and left, saying, "Who would like such a servant?" Okay, that's the story. Now, is the master right or the servant right? What do you think?
The servant is right.
Servant.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think, the master gave an equality to the servant, and for that reason, maybe he did this.
He's not a servant at that point in time.
He's not a servant in that. Bilkul. He's entertaining his own guests. So the master may be the master, but that's in his own house, right? You know? Pretty good. Yeah. Anybody at all who thinks the master also could be right? Ne? You think, batao.
I wanted to say that, but
नहीं बताओ बताओ.
मास्टर क्या थिंग्स
I think that master is right in some
जी,
context.
जी, जी.
Because he, servant, it's not necessarily कि servant यही सोचे कि ये मैं इधर तो मेरा घर है, but उसका उसके साथ कोई अपना लिंक भी है, कोई ताल्लुक रिश्ता भी है. अगर वो उसको मतलब पे ना भी करे, but उसका एक
है ना?
सेंस ऑफ ऑब्लिगेशन या सेंस ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट तो होनी चाहिए उसके लिए.
Now we are thinking. Okay, good.
That's what I think.
I know, pretty good. Exact. There is in the story a very powerful element that makes you question. Now think carefully. What assumptions we are saying? The assumptions. There are some assumptions, and that is the point of the story. We live in the year 2014. And in the year 2014, we think democracy, equality, all human beings are equal, sab theek hai, etc. But that's not true. We know very well, people are not equal. From birth, people are not equal, either in intelligence, or in idiosyncrasy, or in growth, or in talent, or the people are not equal. So in reality, people are equal in only one sense, under law, equal under law. Otherwise, we know the diversity of humanity. But since we live in a world where democracy is a major hype, and we think about this equality, that we read this parable and we say, "Oh, aur kya? Haru bharu bin bulaya main." In one place, people said, "He wasn't even called. Why did the master come at all?" People talk like that. Okay. But look at the assumption. The assumption behind is the world we are in and the thought that we are in. Okay. Now let me unpack it and you will enjoy this. Master is God. The servant is man. And the house of the servant is the world. And the friends of the servant is the vocations of man. And the jug full of liquid is life. And the glass full of liquid is time. Okay. So, man gives time to all the other things first and gives time to God, the last. And so the master said, who would like such a servant?
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. And each time I say this, people say, but sir, that's cheating. That's cheating, isn't it? This is so good, you should have. But exactly. You see, think, there is an element in the story right there. Right there, the opening sentence. The servant comes and asks permission. See, without the permission, no party, no friends, no servant, no house. So the master is a master wherever he is. But since we live in the world we are in, we say, हाँ ठीक है ना, अपने घर में हो तो. Now I am giving you a strategy. What I'm doing now is, these, by the way, this story comes from Jesus Christ. You see, now these are the structures where these magnificent stories are crafted. Good word used for them is, these stories are the geometry of thinking. The geometry of thinking. They allow us to connect parts which we wouldn't otherwise connect except as elements and characters in the story. And that's how it works. And these were crafted by masters. See, it's very interesting. Allama Iqbal, great name, he writes in his Shajrat a very interesting sentence, that only 3 people, he says, only 3 great ones, have been given the capacity of capturing the states of the human soul in stories. Okay? 3 people. But look at the names. Jesus Christ, Jalaluddin Rumi, William Shakespeare. Great. What a gathering. So this sort of thinking needs to be given out. These people, these stories are not just stories. They capture photographs of the states of the soul. And since they are capturing the inward world, they cannot be images, they can be imaginary. And therefore they capture those. Now you see, it's good to memorize several hundred such stories and pass an evening. I tell you, the children will say nothing doing. I mean, ek aur suna hai, And I have mentioned. Right.
To have this at one time,
Yes.
I still do
around them.
at my place.
We, hence grandparents living in the house, since we've created this whole culture where we are in nuclear families we've lost this whole tradition of wisdom, and that is to our detriment.
Exactly.
ठीक. Right जी, आगे बढ़ें. Let's have one more. The design, let's do the design. Unjustly accused of theft. Yeah, छोड़ें, it's okay. Unjustly accused of theft, a tinsmith was put into prison. Now, stop. This story is set in Baghdad, and it is set in a place where prisons were simply a nice bungalow room or something. Please don't think of maximum security prisons like The Rock or something. We are talking about a very simple thing. And after some time in the prison, the jail authorities, the wife of the tinsmith, approached the authorities to give a gift of a janamaz to her husband. And the jail authorities saw it was nothing but a janamaz. They said fine, and it was given. Some time later, the tinsmith spoke to the guards and said, listen, I am a very very able craftsman. I'm an artisan. If you get for me tools and pieces of metal, I can produce small artifacts and you can go and sell them in the market and we can split the profits 50-50. And the guard said, great. You are poorly paid anyways. Fine. So they started doing this. They brought him the tools. They brought him. One day, when the guards came back, they saw that the man had made a key for himself and had escaped. Okay. In time, the real thief was caught. The government issued an honorable pardon and the case was closed. And by pure chance, the guard and the tinsmith met in the marketplace. by chance. And the guard said to the tinsmith, look, now there's no more problem. I'm not going to say anything. But tell me, what is the story of your escape? How did you do it? And the tinsmith said, it is all a matter of design and design within design. Lovely word. Actually, the Naqshbandiya Sufi masters, from where I've got this, is the designers. Hence this word. It is all a matter of design and design within design. My wife knew that I was a locksmith, and my wife got in touch with the locksmiths who had made the jail's locks. She found the design of the inside of the lock and wove it into the place where I had hit my head in the sajda in the janamas every day. So as I prayed, I noticed that the threads look like that. And so I needed to enlist your greed to get me the tools and the metal. And that's how I made the key, and that's how I escaped. Okay? Now, again, symbolic interpretation, everything in the story means something else. What do you think? Of the story. Now, of whatever comes to mind. Any part that inspires, any part.
The story behind.
The story behind. Correct. G. Anything that comes to mind as of interest in this.
The brilliance of his wife.
The brilliance of his wife. Correct. Bilkul.
How you can't restrain free spirits or...
You can't, a free person can't be made there for a...
Thinking in terms of modern justice, he committed a crime by running away. I mean, yes, he may have been innocent, but it's a crime to try and break out.
To try and break, okay.
And there's one more thing, I think that if you put your mind to something, if you want to do something, you end up doing that.
You end up doing it. ठीक, good. Bolo bhai.
This world is a prison for us.
Now, see, you're right, good, go on.
We find escapes to
Yeah,
this
we find escape. Yeah, ways of escaping.
place of escape.
You know everything in it. So you'll have to tell me, what are the guards? If the world is a prison, then okay, we are in the prison, fine. Then the guards, then it's like,
And there are some people who guide us in this world,
okay,
or they can be mentored. They
They
can
help us make
There's
design
one
the
more
key.
thing. And people who don't support us, that's what I'm thinking, I can be wrong. And people who don't support us in their own way and doing something which is against our will or wishes, or even in their own way they are supporting us.
yes, interesting.
And there is one more thing, like in some way or another, God helps us to find the way.
Even opposition helps you.
Even exactly, see, the very same guards who are putting him in the prison were the very same people who got him. So, okay, interesting, good. Hanji, what do you think about the wife? I mean, who would that be, or what? What would that represent? Because without her help, he couldn't have done it. ठीक है? Okay.
It's in a way the instructions that are sent in an abstract form, perhaps, not always directly, but it's about understanding what you've been given as instruction.
Okay.
Your fate, perhaps.
Some kind of discipline. Now, he could have had the janamas, but if he himself did not observe and pay attention, he would have remained in prison.
An analysis of what you have.
So paying attention then would be serious, right? Okay, good. नहीं, hello, we just opened it. अब बताया आपको.
You actually hold the key to your own fate in your own hands. As in,
Excellent.
it depends on how you interpret
Depends,
things, how you analyze what you make of it, and how you fashion your own
But
escape.
don't concentrate on the prayer. You think everything.
Use the press to find your...
To find the key, exactly, be sensible. Sitting on the prayer mat won't alone do it. You have to and then get the... Be an artisan, be a skillful person. Excellent.
sitting idle, if he would be sitting idle, he would not,
Would not have.
go out.
Good. Pretty good. Okay, some interpretation. Think about this. This is the predicament of man. This is insan. This is what we are. And the prison, of course, is the world, and the tinsmith is insan. He has the skill, the capacity, the hunar to get out. And he is unjustly charged. So that whole thing about existence itself being a burden is part of this. And the way out is not dying, remember. Many people interpret the way out of this world is by death. That is not what we are talking about, getting out of the prison. So getting out of the prison is a very different thing from leaving this world permanently. So we are talking about the very same prison. Okay. Now masters say that this kind of story is a kind of a dream interpretation. It's like a dream in which every element is yourself. So the tinsmith is man, and his wife is also himself, the part that is free. Hence I like that point about the free spirit can't be held in. Okay? So she is the companion with whom and together he is able to. The janamas represents the spirituality, the discipline, the attention, without which nothing works. And the gods represent also himself, what's holding him in. So these are our assumptions, our mindsets, our fears.
Stops you.
Excellent. So the things that are holding us are not holding us, and the ilaj, the cure is not to kill them or something. जो हम एक अपनी language में कहते हैं नफ्स को मारना, as we say. No, that's not how it works. You turn it around. You benefit from those guards to get the metal and the tools and the keys to make the key and to get out. And so therefore this marvelous, it's all a matter of design and design within design. So this story itself is very carefully crafted, and every element in it is powerful. Are you enjoying this? Now you can see how an evening can pass several hundred stories. You can go on and this is what I mean by teaching children values through wisdom tales. These are sermons, but they are not sermons.
You enjoy them.
You enjoy them. There is a
Thought rather than
and children will surprise you. They will listen once, twice. 3 days later, they will say, "You know what I was thinking, and you know this," and they will have insights because these stories are, as I said, so cleverly made that the moment they are inside, they are like a radioactive thing in the mind, constantly radiating, and that continues throughout. That is how the great parables work. That's how the. ठीक है जी.
That was amazing. अब हमारे अंदर भी वही हो रहा है जो आपने बताया ना. That thing is.
Right, blipping. All right, one last. Take the tri-stomachic survival. This one, I have no trouble if we were to read it, but I'll read it loud. The tri-stomachic survival, and let's see how you interpret. It's the one prior to that. There it is. Take it. All these stories, I've given the reference of each of them. These books are easily available. Idris Shah, The Magic Monastery, Dusri Wali Bhi, Idris Shah, Thinkers of the East. And then I'll conclude with some names which are.
Find them in our bookshops here.
Oh yeah, second-hand shops.
Second hand.
Yeah.
What about saying book?
नहीं सही बोल second hand Mr. Old Books and इधर उधर मिल जाएंगे आपको. ठीक. Okay, once upon a time, there were 3 kinds of people on a certain planet. Let's see. There were those with 1 stomach, those with 2, and those with 3 stomachs. Okay. At first, nobody realized that there was any difference between them. They lived in different areas, adopted the food and habits which corresponded best to their stomachic peculiarities. But as they multiplied, their differences became matters of contention. Sometimes the monostomachics prevailed, sometimes the bistomachics, sometimes the tristomachics. Then with realism and through a desire for equity, they decided to abolish all differences based on stomachs. The result was that people, happily enough, eventually forgot that there were any of these anatomical differences. They now had a unified culture which was completely blind to this detail. Even the technological instruments devised by the people did not register stomach differences. And then a new element crept in. As food supplies increased in quantity and decreased in quality, for unforeseen reasons, the monostomachics and bistomachics could not endure the new diet and began to die out. Because the ancient taboo against knowing anything about stomachs had been established even in the genetic inheritance of the people, nobody could solve the problem and only the tristomachics survived.
Susan, about economics.
Yes.
This is about what I think you were talking about this earlier on, that we're all different, but we're all being forced to, behave in the same way. And maybe by our education.
Okay, good. Okay. Unpack it. How?
Survival of the fittest.
Sir, is it really the fittest? Now, stop right there. Exactly. Is it really the fittest? Look, the monostomach.
Survival as being common.
The
Survival as being common in a society. Or as being the majority.
as being the majority.
And the ones with the best digestion. Actually, digest whatever was being
Whatever.
whatever the quality.
So now we are talking about the survival of the worst. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
Now.
Those who are more sensitive or more, they have more refined taste, so they're not able to digest everything.
They're the ones
who are being sidelined.
Now we are talking. Okay, Rumina, you said. Your name is Rumina? Hit it on the spot. Think a little bit more. Yeah, Hina, कुछ कह रही है?
मैं कह रही थी लेकिन I thought कि वो नहीं इस पे
Okay. Okay.
मैं कह रही थी कि मेरे नज़दीक जो नेचर या कुदरत का निज़ाम, लेकिन बट वो तो हम एक प्लैनेट ही ऐसी की बात कर रहे हैं जिसमें 3 स्टमक्स हैं, उसमें प्लान नहीं होता. What did you just say? Sorry, I missed it.
Basically, the fact that
You did say something. क्या कहा था आपने?
I thought, maybe what this means is, people who have finer sensibilities, or people who cannot digest everything the world throws at them, who are not, nowadays we're just teaching kids, deal with it, toughen up. But why are we forcing them to toughen up? I mean, why shouldn't we make the world a nicer place for them to?
All right. So now we are talking. Yeah.
I mean, this is something that really perturbs me.
Yes, it does.
Why do we tell our children it's a cutthroat world? Why are we forcing them to be like those people who are making it a cutthroat world,
And not just that, I mean, what they did here was that they actually banned dialogue on differences. Which is not necessarily the solution.
Yes, which made
It
the.
will not disappear just because we're not talking about them.
So take a look. With realism and through a desire for equity. But that's the absence of realism. An absence of equity when you cover over a difference on stomachs. But the difference won't go away because you choose not to see it.
It's there.
So it is not realism. So the whole thing is the opposite. Right.
We do not basically maybe we do not accept things as they are. We do not accept the differences in society.
Yeah, sure. That's in the universe of this story. I would like you to say, what is it that is interesting? What is it that emerges out of the story and just hits you?
Basically, I find it very, very apt for the world that we're living in today. And this is the kind of society that we are living in. It is wrong to be different. We cannot be, and it is wrong to react too strongly to certain things. We're expected to just digest it and move on. It's not something that we talk about. It's not something we're allowed to raise our voice against. It's not, because then the whole world says, no, you are the one who's wrong.
You're the one who's kicking up a fuss.
I think कि if you are in a society, जैसे अभी फिजा भी कह रही है कि you are not allowed. I don't think that. I think if you want to do something quietly, भी ज़रूरी नहीं है कि सारी. That's my point of view. I can be wrong. If you want to do something and you are focused, और आपको कि मैंने करना है, ठीक है, वो ये बोल रहा है, डांट गया, मार गया आपको, आपके okay fine, but you get on with your own thing. You are just, मतलब आप एक consistently और persistently अगर एक चीज़ पे लगे रहें,
No issue.
बैठे रहें, तो शायद
No issue, you know.
आपका survival हो ही जाता है.
Oh yes, yes. Wait, not the issue. देखिए, in the universe of this story, what you are saying is perfectly all right. Which means, if you are a monostomachic, for example, and the food quality is poor, you make sure that your focus allows you to get the supply you need in order to survive. Which means, the particular food that you need should be available to you and you arrange it and then you will survive. So, ये बात तो ठीक है. But as an image of the way the world is, it is exactly as Fiza says, this is our world. This is how it is. The people of the most crude tastes, that's the word. The people of the most crude sensibilities are in great majority. That's the things they want.
The whole idea of food supply is increasing in quantity but decreasing in terms of quality.
By definition. Yeah, by definition, whenever quantity increases, quality decreases. For sure. Right. Thank you very much, people. Let me, at the end, right here, below the design are a list of resources easily available in your neighborhood news hawker. The Sayyara Digest people have done. It's the bottom of the page of the design. Right? Okay. Now, there are these excellent number, these specific issues. They are not the monthly issue. Excellent to have at home. Quran number in 3 volumes, Rasul number 3 volumes, Hikayat number. They've collected all these excellent stories from Sadi and Rumi and others in short Urdu text. Yes, they are all Sayyara Digest things. Talk to your newspaper hawker and he will deliver them at home.
ठीक है.
Sayyara Digest.
Yeah.
औलिया किराम नंबर भी है.
हाँ, so there it is. Awliya Kiram number, Anbiya Kiram number, Akhlaq Rasul number, Azwaj Mutaharat number, Ramzan number, etc. etc. So these are resources that I would like to point out. Then a little bit later, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi's Anwarul Uloom, which is translation of Masnavi Maulana Rum in 1 volume. In prose. In prose. So this gentleman has done a single volume, all 6 Masnavi books in a very readable format, large format, and this is excellent. So these are again easily available resources that you are welcome to have at home and dip in and read, and you will be able to. This is the kind of resource on tap to engage the children when you finally disengage them from the tsunami of television and other things.
वैसे अब्बास साहब, one more thing, जो लास्ट वाला आपने बताया स्टमक
जी.
इसको तो elaborate करें. Frankly speaking.
But I did. अच्छा, okay. अच्छा,
एक आप कहें कि
okay. Let's look at this. And now recite this entire thing with her analogy to something else. Okay, to something. There was once a country, planet की बात है. There was once a country with an education system with 3 divisions in it, 3, if you like, streams in it. There were those which are skill based, there were those which are subject based, and then there were the cheaters, the ratification based. Okay. So at first they managed their own things. They lived in different parts of the country. They managed to achieve their skills, they managed to achieve their subjects, and the ratas managed to do their things. In time, the complexities of the education system, with a desire for equity and realism, they abolished all differences in the final document about the way you had achieved it. So regardless of your skills or your knowledge or subject, only the however you got it, you got the same piece of paper. So then there came a time when the distinctions between the people got lost, and as the education system worsened, and as teachers increased, in quantity and decreased in quality. The people who had skills and the people with intelligence no longer passed the exams, and only the rote learners took over. And so, get the idea now?
Yes.
That is so what's happening.
So what's happening? And so very true. Yeah, this entire thing applied as an analogy to things becoming worse just because you try to make them better in an unjust way. That's all. All right. Can we do the Ali Baba and the Chalis Chor story and do the story behind it? All right. Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Famous story. It is available everywhere on the planet. And everything in the story is a remarkable symbolic of the entire spiritual path. Let's see how it goes. So now let's see the elements we want, okay? We have Ali Baba. We have the 40 Thieves. We have the cave containing all the treasures. We have the magic word that opens the cave, the wisdom, the word. We have Ali Baba and his brother Qasim. We have his brother who overhears or takes it, or his wife, and all of that part of the story. Then his brother enters the cave. He forgets the word. He tries to take too much. The robbers come and they kill him. Ali Baba finds his body, takes it out, buries it, and the thieves now want to know who's done it. So there is the servant girl Marjiana who puts across, etc., etc., right? This is how the packaging of the story is so good that every child has heard it. However, the story has behind it something very interesting. Okay, since this is universal spirituality, it applies to all the traditions, but I will take the Islamic tradition, it is easy. Let's see. The cave is the heart. The cave is the heart. The 40 thieves refers to the effort, 40 being a symbolic number of the 40 years that it takes to achieve wisdom. Thieves are those who have stolen the time from the world and dedicated it unto God. So when they have done that, they have been given gifts of insight and wisdom. The cave of the heart is full of the insights and wisdom given by God, achieved by riyazat, mujahida, zikr, fikr, muraqabah, that kind of thing. Okay. The word which Ali Baba overhears, what is it? What do we normally say? Sim, right? Exactly, that's the key. Ism. Ism. It's the name. It's the Isme Azam. It's the name of Allah. It's the zikr. It's the zikr which opens the heart to the wonders of the tajalliyat of Allah. Okay. Now, Ali Baba has the wisdom to take only what he needs. All right. Now, the brother's name is Qasim. The meaning of the word Qasim is the one who distributes. But Qasim does not live up to his name. He is greedy. So he takes more than what he can use because he is greedy. The moment he does this, the Isme Azam is taken away from his heart and he no longer knows it. Therefore he loses.
It is in your heart.
Correct.
They cannot be.
You can get, there we go. So the moment that happens, he has to lose his life. You cannot survive in the divine plan if you are greedy and take what is not yours. So he did not live up to his name. Okay. So then we have Ali Baba. He is every man. He is the human being. And his relationship unto Allah is that he is able to guard the wisdom, take the name, do the effort, benefit. The rest is story which holds it together. Now, that is the backstory. Thank you. You provoked me well.
Sir, 2-3 points I wanted to share.
Shoot.
As we talked about the children who watch TV too much, they become passive learners.
Yes.
I wanted your point.
Arey bhai, terrible. No, worse than that, they also become impatient.
They watch Tom and Jerry, so there is no sound in even that.
Yes, I know. There's no language.
Yes, there is no language.
I-
Where are they going?
Until the age of 11, my children never saw Tom and Jerry. Remember, it's very hard. I would remove the Tom and Jerry cartoon from those videos that we used to get. There would be all sorts of Chilli Willy and Pink Panther and everything. But if there was a Tom and Jerry, I would delete it in the middle of the cartoon film until my children were 11 years old. Beyond that, it was okay.
That's it. It's
But-
too much restrictive.
Yes, I know.
Restrictive
Yes,
that
I
I
know.
watch it.
Yes, but you are okay now. No, I believe these things create in children an enormous impatience, an enormous boredom. They say, I'm bored. So in my house, there was no permission for anyone to say, I'm bored. I would say to them, no. The universe is not committed to exciting you. So you find your own. And they did. When the TV would be closed and I said, no, find your own games. And they would. They would play Scrabble, they would play Monopoly, they would play Karodpati. But those were so exactly that point. Right, Jeep. Thank you very much, people. You have been most generous and it has been wonderful.